friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Allison Clarke and I'm a senior portrait and wedding photographer based out of Southern New Hampshire, and I'm also an educator for those who are just starting their own photography businesses and want to learn a little bit more on how to boost them. Today I'm going to be chatting with you guys a little bit more on how to use a reflector, as it is a question I have gotten a ton of recently. I always take my reflector with me to my senior sessions so that I can get the glowiest portraits, and a lot of you have noticed that in the behind the scenes on my Instagram story, so I wanted to show you guys today how I use that. But before we get into the meat of things, I wanted to let you guys know that there is a link to my free download in the description below. It is for senior portrait photographers. It is 6 tips to help you slay your next senior session, and it's chock full of 6 free tips. Like I said, it's in the title, to slay your next session. They'll help you with your posing, and those tips in combination with what you learned from this video on using a reflector will help you totally boost your senior game. So definitely head to the description and check that free download out. All you have to do is click the link. It's totally free. I am filming this intro inside because it's pretty darn cold out today, but without further ado, let's hop outside and chat about reflectors. Alright guys, we are outside and I'm going to show you the 2 different reflectors that I have. One of them is pretty small. This is it all folded up, but I like it because it has handles, so I don't always need an assistant to use it. I can usually just hold it with the same hand that I'm shooting with, and then I can just hold my camera like this and shoot at the same time. However, if it's not a windy day or I have an assistant, I can use my bigger reflector, which is about the size of my body, and I can either lean it up against my body to shoot like this, or I can have an assistant hold it if I have one with me on that day. But I'm going to show you guys how to use a reflector because I think that sometimes people overcomplicate it and it's really not as hard as it seems. It's not super intimidating. So I wanted to break it down for you guys into 3 easy steps. Alright guys, the first step is to find your light source. When you're outside, this is the sun obviously, so you're just going to want to look around a little bit, and you'll kind of notice right now that the sun is behind me. So I have found my light source, I know which direction the sun is coming from, and the first step is complete. The second step is to position your subject, whether that be a person or an animal or an object, with their back to the sun or facing away from the sun. So right now the sun is back there behind me and I am facing this way so that I'm not staring into the sun and I am totally backlit. Alright guys, for the remainder of this video, my subject will be my dog, Finn. Vinny, say hi to the camera. So that I can properly show you guys how I would position him. So we're gonna hop back to step 2 real quick so I can show you guys. So I'm gonna have him sit. Vinny, come here. Can you sit? Good, sit. Stay. So as you guys can see right now, his back is to the sun. He's facing away from the sun and he's totally backlit. So now we can move on to the 3rd step. Alright, I'm going to be using my smaller, did you just paw at me for a treat? I'm going to be using my smaller reflector to show you guys, just because he's obviously pretty small, and I don't want to overwhelm him or you guys in the camera with my bigger reflector. So, just to review, we found our light source, it's behind us. We have our subject here facing away from the sun. The 3rd step is to make a direct pathway from the sun to your subject to you with your reflector so that you can bounce the light that's coming from behind your subject back onto your subject and fill those shadows. So I'm going to show you guys how that's done. Alright, we moved into a more direct sun because I wanted to be able to show you guys like a more drastic difference so you can really get the idea. So I've positioned him again with his back to the sun. You can tell because the shadows are coming this way. So if I was to be photographing this scene, stay, I would position myself where kind of you guys are, where the camera is, in order to bounce that light back onto him. So I would be positioning my, stay, can you sit? Nope. Alright. Come here. Sit. Nope, come here. Sit. Good. Stay. 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 So I would be positioning my reflector where you guys are to bounce that light back onto him. And I'm going to show you guys, stay. I usually use the white side of my reflector and not the gold side, just because especially in senior portraits, it's a little bit softer and it's a cleaner light. If you're to use the gold side on somebody's skin, you're stepping on my reflector. you're gonna get some pretty orange skin tones and they're gonna be pretty severe and harsh. So I like to use the white side when I'm shooting my seniors, but I'm gonna show you guys with the gold side just for right now so that you can see, you're very demanding, so that you guys can see the true difference that the reflector makes, and then I'll show you with the white side after. So we've got our subject back in position, and I'm gonna show you guys, like I said, with the gold side first. So now that we've got our subject back in place, I'm gonna show you guys what that reflector looks like I said, with the gold side first. So this is without a reflector, and this is when I pop the gold side of the reflector on him. Do you see how the shadows on his face get filled? And then without the reflector. And then I'll show you guys thin, stay. I'll show you guys again with the white side, thin, stay. This is with the white side of the reflector. Do you see how that light is a lot cleaner? And then this is without the reflector. I'm going to show you one more time, a little bit closer up so you can really see the difference. This is with no reflector, thin, stay. And this is with the reflector. Do you see that catch light that goes into his eyes and the shadows that get filled in his face? And then this is the gold side, and you can see that true difference when I take the reflector away and then when I put it back. So that's pretty much all there is to using a reflector. So just to review, so you all remember what we talked about. First step, to find your light source, the direction that the light source is coming from. Second step is to Finny. Second step is to position your subject so that their back is to the sun, or that they're facing away from the sun or your light source. And then the third step is to position your reflector so that it's in a straight line from the light source to your subject to the reflector, so that you're bouncing that light right back onto your subject and kind of filling those shadows, adding that catch light in their eyes, and just making a much more glowy image. So if you guys have any questions about this process, just leave them in the comments below. Finn and I would be more than happy to answer them. And like I said in the beginning of the video, make sure to check out that free download that's linked in my description. I'm so happy for you guys to snag it, and I'm excited to see how those posing tips can help change your business. And also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Allison Clarke Photography. I linked those in the description below as well so that you can find me there. I love sharing tips and tricks on the daily on those two platforms. And I've been doing a Reels challenge, 30 days of Reels for senior portrait photographers. So if you're looking for more free tips for senior photographers, definitely check those out on my Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I will see you all next Friday.